Do you ever feel like everyone else is managing your schedule except you? Hey everybody, I'm Michelle Carre and welcome to Your Delicious Life, where each week we take a look at life from a different perspective and either learn something new or get reminded of something that we already knew. This week's episode is called Own Your Time. Now here's the thing, we talk about this all the time, there's that word again, that crushing our goals and living the life that we love, this takes time and energy. And we know that. We know we have to put the effort into our goals. But somehow this word time seems to escape us, and we find ourselves bogged down with emails or sitting in meetings that's taking up time or doing things that we don't really want to be doing. And you start to look around and you feel like, I've barely made any progress on my goals, or worse yet, you feel stuck because you haven't done anything and you don't even know where to start. Well, I want to help you turn that around because it's really important. So we're going to talk about how we can start to own our time again in today's episode. The first thing we need to do is set boundaries. And we need to do this because if you don't set the boundaries, that's when other things start getting added into your schedule and you start saying yes to things that don't really matter because you don't have any boundaries that you're working within. So when you are looking at your week, when it's a blank schedule, schedule the time that matters most to you first. Now, this isn't always work-related either. It could be time to do your emails or social media or do a work project. But it can also be things like scheduling out an hour to do your workout, or picking a night to have a date with your partner, or even just a daily morning meeting with yourself to think about your day, to do some deep thinking, or to work on something uninterrupted, right? We need to block out that time so that we can make it a priority. Because if we don't start by identifying those times and setting those boundaries, what'll happen is we'll look at our blank week and we'll say, okay, when do other people need my time? And that's when it gets messy and things go sideways. You want to ask the question, when do I need my time? And block those spots first. When it comes to filling in the space around those block times, we have to be deliberate about that too. So if someone sends me an email wanting to do a meeting or even just a text to get together for fun, and they don't specify when, to me, that's a jackpot because now I get to look at my schedule and figure out what works for me. You see, when someone just sends that random request, that's usually when things start to go off the rails because you'll say something like, sure, what works best for you? Sure, when are you free? And then they can come back with, oh, I don't know, how about later in the week? Maybe it's vague. And you end up wasting a lot of time trying to figure out a time. But if you actually stop that, and when you get the request without any specification on day or time, stop and look at your calendar. Figure out what day or time works best with your schedule, and then respond to them with that. Sure, love to get together. How about Thursday at 4 or Tuesday at 1? You're in control of your schedule at that point, and you're picking the time that works best for you. Now, is it always going to work? No, of course not. You have to work with people's schedules. But if you're taking the initiative to be in control of your time, you're going to be so much more effective with what you can accomplish because you're not getting bogged down by other people's requests all the time. Something that I want to touch on that I think is really important with this topic is the fact that it's okay to be unavailable. I know for me, for a long time, I always felt like I had to explain myself. Oh, I'm sorry, I can't because I have to pick up the kids, because I have a meeting or an appointment or. And you know what? You don't have to justify it. You don't have to explain it. You can simply be unavailable. And here's the other thing. People don't care. They don't care why you can't make the meeting. They just want to know if you can meet. So get comfortable with just saying, I'm sorry, I'm not available at that time. and leaving it at that, because that is also a very empowering part of owning your time and setting those boundaries. Another thing to consider is the quality of work that you can put out. Let's say you're a morning person. You have lots of energy in the morning, great thinking in the morning, you're very productive, and someone wants to schedule a brainstorming session or a deep thinking session late in the day. You know you're probably not going to bring your A game to that meeting or that brainstorming session. So instead of showing up with half of your effort or half of your ability, see if you can reschedule that so that you know you're coming to the meeting with everything that you've got. And this applies for every area of life too. I mean, if you're more of a night owl and have a ton of energy then, don't schedule a 5 a.m. workout when you'll be dragging your butt to the gym. Save it for later in the day when you know you have energy, so you're going to get the most out of that. You see, time is finite. We all know that. But because of that, we want to make the absolute best use of it so that we really can live the life that we want. We can make progress toward our goals, and we can show up with our best selves to all the different things that we want to commit our time and energy to. Thanks so much for watching. Can't wait to see you guys next week for the next episode.